All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Will you please rise and join me in a pledge to our flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let the record show that all board members are present and accounted for, with the exception of Trustee Cardona, who is still in Panama. And there was no action taken in closed session. And then I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda, but we will be removing the facilities update.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Move on now to public comment. Members of the public may address the board on Board of Trustees regarding any special board meeting agenda item during board consideration of that item. Please note that if you wish to address the board, the Board of Trustees on an agenda item, you should do so when that specific item is called by the president. Now also at this time, if you'd like to address the board on an item that is not on the agenda, this would be your time to do so. Please know that because it is not an agendized item, we will not be able to take action on it, but please note that we will do our best to try and address your issues and your concerns. And if you want to comment and you are here present, please feel free to come on up. If you are watching on YouTube, please go ahead and do so in the live chat. And if you would like to do so via Assembly Gamut, all you have to do is enter your name and email address, and the board assistant will provide your comment to the board. Is there anyone who would like to address the board on an item that is not on the agenda? We'll give folks who are online an opportunity. All right. Seeing no comments, we will go ahead and move forward. We'll move on to reports, and we will start with the Robla Education Foundation.
I guess there's one benefit to being first on this, and is this thing working? Good. Well, I can't hear myself, but that's all right. Anyways, as you know, we did the fireworks booth back the end of June, beginning of July, and I would like to personally thank all the board members that were in attendance, also to our IT. Elliot was unable to fulfill his shift, but he did come by and graced the foundation with a benefit or a nice check. Also, I was able to get everything taken care of today, and you can see on the board, and I'll be handing this over in a little bit, but as a breakdown, there's a check in here for the amount of $2,520. And since I can't see that far anymore, it has a breakdown of how much money was donated to strings and who donated it. Also, the different things on like Taylor Street, the library, and we have a Taylor Street school teacher who is going to be pleasantly surprised because the person who would have been there transferred out of the district after the fireworks booth. He was my driver, one of my drivers. So Miss Nance will be getting a $300 donation in her classroom, and she's not aware of. I haven't been in touch with her yet. I'll probably see her next week sometime and get in touch with her. And Main Avenue's got a nice grant for $420 for the 2 6th grade classes for food and nutrition education purposes. A bunch of other teachers, and also Main Avenue in general got a $300 donation from my other driver. So nice funds to go around. We ended up with a nice profit after this. I haven't got them numbers tallied just yet. I still got a check that delivered the New Hope Charter for $60 for their two people that came over, but we did well. We do have a nice profit this year, and so this time, if I can get Mr. Castillo to come up for a second. I told him I'd embarrass him. I won't tell about the other day. On behalf of the foundation.
Everybody knows of it. So we will make sure we allocate these funds to each school and to each program as it's indicated. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
And thank you for blowing it up because I couldn't read it either.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Okay, the Robla Teachers Association. CSEA. We'll move on to Superintendent's Report.
Thank you. Okay, so it's my first board meeting, so if you can give me just a little bit of time. It's been a little over a month, and it's been a wonderful transition. I've had an opportunity to meet with staff, some one-on-one. I know that there's a lot more staff that I need to meet. Last week, we had Cabinet Advance Part 1 and Part 2, where I was able to share my vision and strategic plan, Blossoms of Greatness, which I will be rolling out throughout the year, and you will be hearing about that as well. Last Saturday was Ready for Robla. It was a wonderful event. I learned and met many of our community partners who really want to help our students and family, and it was just so exciting to see that. And I wanted to really thank the staff in preparation for it. Janet's in the audience. And for those that showed up on Saturday to help support the event, Mr. Castillo and Mr. Langley actually barbecued food, and it was a super hot day. I'm still trying to get used to Sacramento heat. Our new Teacher Institute was also last week. It was a wonderful planning by Mr. Penman and his team to introduce our new teachers. They were all smiling, so I'm so excited to have them as our team. But it was a jam-packed week of learning. Yesterday, Cindy Lyons facilitated a dual language immersion teacher meeting. So those teachers came one day early to plan, get ahead of the year. START also had a backpack giveaway yesterday. When I arrived towards the end, a lot of the other vendors were already gone because they had passed out all the things that they were giving for the students. Today was the first of 2 days of professional development. I want to personally acknowledge Mr. Penman and his assistant, Kayla, because this morning at my introduction, I acknowledged everyone else but them. And so specifically Kayla, who works tirelessly behind the scene, making sure everything is done. But I do want to recognize all the directors who facilitated their professional development for their departments. And then finally, tomorrow is our staff picnic at Main Avenue. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to board member reports. Trustee Devine.
I participated in the selling of fireworks back in June, which was very fun. But in July, I was given the opportunity to read at the summer school program, which is sponsored by the Robert Center. And they invited me to join them for Harambe. And I read poems from my favorite children's book from when I was a kid. So we read Shel Silverstein for about an hour and had a Q&A, and the kids were just so sweet, and we talked about my favorite books and their favorite books, and then it turned into a Babysitters Club fiasco. But for all the parents who may watch this, if you have an opportunity to send your children to the summer school program we offer here in the district, it is amazing, and the kids absolutely love it.
Okay. Trustee Hamilton, start.
I also got to participate with Robert's Family Development and the Read Aloud, and that was really, really fun. The kids are really great. I left feeling inspired. I walked out of there like I can do anything. So it was awesome, and I was glad I was able to do it. And I went to the event on Saturday as well, and was glad that I was able to just see all the wonderful work that our community does to support our families. So that was awesome.
Trustee Barnes.
I was able to participate in the fireworks booth and just want to thank John Revin for all the work that he's done because I don't think people understand how much work goes into preparing for such a feat. So thank you very much for that and also for um, um, being persistent in making sure that people sign up for shifts and things.
Yes.
And shout out to the people who were there for. I was there for like a couple hours. I was melting. It was hot. So big shout out to the people who were there for multiple shifts and multiple hours. Like shout out to them. It was hot.
I did not have a chance to participate in the fireworks booth, but I did send my my son and son-in-law over to make a significant purchase on the 4th of July. I had a chance to participate in the read along program with and do Harambe with the Roberts Family Development Center summer school with Freedom School. Also had a chance to participate at the state capitol where they actually had students come and testify on a specific issue. Participated with members from the Sacramento City Unified School District, as well as staff members from the various different legislators. So it was kind of interesting. It was the idea was to give students an opportunity or getting them used to being involved and engaged in the political process. It was once again it was definitely an interesting time, and I appreciate the folks that students had actually come from all over the state, and he was primarily Roberts Family Development Center was the primary coordinator of it. So that was a lot of fun. And that is it for my report. And we will now move on to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We will skip presentations / information because we have none. And we'll move on to action items. Item A, approve Parent Square Unified Communications System for a 3-year contract.
So moved.
Second.
So let's share a little bit about this one.
This is the communication platform that Mr. Elliott wants to speak.
So Parent Square is as superintendent was saying, a unified communications platform that will actually consolidate a lot of the tools that we have been using historically to communicate with our families, both from the district office and from the school sites. In addition to that, a lot of our teachers are using various tools to contact parents to communicate with them as well. And so Parent Square unifies all of that under one umbrella, and it makes it a lot easier for our families who are currently downloading 3, 4, maybe even 5 apps to receive information about their students. It'll, going forward, all be in one place for them.
Do we have a way to see which parents have accessed it?
Absolutely. So one of the key benefits of the system is that it does provide really robust metrics, so we can go in and we can see where we might be missing contact information for families. We can also see which families are engaging and also what their preferences are for different types of communications. So Parent Square allows us to communicate via text, via email, and via phone, all from one system. And the data in the system will allow us to see if, for certain types of communications, families have a predisposition for text over phone or email, and we can adjust accordingly.
Does this program also have a way to translate it for parents?
Absolutely. So our communications will continue to go out in the 4 languages that we commonly use, and it has the flexibility to add others if we need it.
And one last question, do we have a plan in place to reach the parents who have not logged in to make sure they are aware of it?
Absolutely. We have multi-phase deployment planned out, and so we're rolling it out gradually, starting with the central office, and then we'll be rolling it out to schools and then ultimately to teachers. And so we have a process in place where we can actually track who's using it, and then we have a strategy in place to target those who might not be engaging with the tool.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Natomas, Superintendent Thomas has also switched over to this, so apparently this is a very popular one, and I'm looking forward to it. I have a question, and you may not be able to answer this now, but do we know or have a sense of the type of? I know you mentioned that this has tools that will tell us who's using what. Do we have a sense of the type of tools or devices and things that parents like or have in our district? And if not, is there a way of assessing that information?
I mean, that's a great question, and that's the perennial challenge, right? Is trying to find where your stakeholders are and meet them where they are. And in the past, we've been trying different things with different, with various levels of success. But this platform actually allows us to obtain the feedback that we require to be able to make sure that the types of communications that we're sending out are tailored to the way that our families want to receive that information. By and large, I mean, the general trend appears to be that families prefer text over phone calls. They prefer an app that will notify them in real time. They don't want to have a conversation. They want to get the information that they want immediately, concisely, and they want to take action on it. And that's another thing that Parent Square allows us to do, is to enable families to take action on the information that we send to them, so they can respond directly within the app. If we're soliciting information from them, they don't have to go somewhere else. They can immediately respond right from the device that they're using to receive the information. And that includes things like letting us know why their students aren't in school, if it happens to be an absence notification, if we're doing trip forms and permission slips and things like that, they can respond right there. So it just eliminates a number of steps and the barriers that are currently in place for that engagement that we want.
Just a couple of questions. So does the program or the app allow them to, do they set their preferences or determine their preferences, or do they tell you what their preferences are and that's done internally?
They get to set their preferences not only in terms of the type of communications they want to receive. They get to identify when they want to receive them. But on top of all that, and in addition to what they explicitly tell us their preferences are, we get to see what their behavior is, so that we understand what their actual, what their actual behavior is.
They may say they like text, but if they don't respond to text, then there's a way to let them know, hey, we noticed that you prefer text, and you haven't been responding. Now, does this also allow for push notifications?
Yeah. So the tool. So in addition to text, when you have the app on your phone, you'll receive instant notifications. So it'll pop up right on your screen.
Excellent.
And it also has a web interface as well. If you don't happen to have a mobile device, you can access it via the web. Yeah, so it allows you to do, there are tons of capabilities in the system, including the ability to poll our families, to send out questionnaires. So that includes the types of questionnaires that we have historically sent out by mail, by other sort of tedious and expensive and slow methods. It allows us to do that digitally right within the system, including some of the things that are mandatory, statutory data collection efforts, but also, the informal stuff that we also like to do to gather information.
I actually do have one more question. You said that parents could basically call their kids in sick through the system and everything, correct?
So what the way the system is set up, parents will be receiving a notice. Initially, it'll be via email, text, and phone call from Parent Square, in addition to the app notification, because attendance is obviously very important to us. So that'll come to them in real time. And then as we evolve into the use of the system, it does have the capability for the parent to then tell us why that student is absent, so that we can, because we have different codes that we use, and so if there's an excuse for the absence, we can collect that information directly from within the app.
Okay, I just wanted to know who was going to be monitoring it, or if it went right to the school or right to the teachers.
Yeah, so it goes through the app. Our principals and our school office staff will have access to the data and to the system, so they can send communications directly from the school. But another really cool thing about the product is that it integrates directly with our student information system. Okay. So it gathers information about contact changes on a nightly basis. So every time, someone shows up at the front office and changes their phone number or address or what have you, that immediately goes to Parent Square. And then when we enable the bi-directional capability that I'm talking about, where they can send us back information, that can go back into the student information system directly as well.
Fantastic.
Takes away that manual input that we currently do.
Do one last question. Is the fee based on the number of students?
Yeah, so their licensing is based on number of students, and we were able to negotiate a discount, so we're paying a little less than Natomas probably is, or Sac City or Twin Rivers. Yeah,
Seems very reasonable dollar amount to me.
tackled hard on that. Yeah.
There you go.
Can I come get a lesson? Because my son's school just started using this.
Absolutely. So
Thank you.
Right now, already on our website, we have a page that's dedicated to announce the availability of Parent Square, in addition to a series of links that are targeted both to families and to our internal staff who want to get a leg up on knowing how to use the system. And there are tutorials and videos and things like that that you can look at right now.
I'm very familiar with Parent Square, so I'm excited that it's going to be here in Robla.
Right. Any other discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item B, approve contract to the construction services agreement with Clark Sullivan for the Robla Elementary School drinking fountain and bottle filler unit in play area.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. This was a hot topic of discussion at our last board meeting, I think it was. Any questions? Hearing none, move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item C, approve transportation MOU with Gateway Community Charters.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We're now on IX Section 8, Board Member Requests for future agenda items or reports.
So I actually wanted to ask Elliot another question. So you'll see how many parents are going to be going on. Is there any way for us to get data at the end of the year to see if the students whose parents participated in Parent Square did better?
So we absolutely, we know who the parents are, we know what students they're attached to, and that's just another data point that we can use to see if there's any benefit or what the benefits are to the work that we're doing and the investment that we're making in these resources and the effort that we're putting in.
If the other board members agree, I would like to get an update at the end of the school year on the benefits of what we just approved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, not at this time.
Okay. Trustee Barnes?
Yeah, I'd like to know if you have the date now, or if you know this information now. We usually have a drive with, I believe it's VSP, where they come out and do an assessment of vision test for kids. It might not be VSP. I'm blanking on that. I'd love to know if we are going to have that anytime this year, and if there's a report on that on how popular it's been in the past.
I could get that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the nurse has contacted the company that does our vision screens and has a contracted process for conducting the vision screens for all of the mandated ages.
And will they be if I remember correctly, they were willing to provide glasses for those who couldn't afford them. Are they still willing to do that, you know? Or is that part of it?
So, but I will confirm that with her and
Ask and ye shall receive. And I have nothing. And so with that, this meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you for coming and thank you for tuning in.
No, the one where I was sworn in was really.
I have a friend at Glenwood, and his mom was like, "Are
Oh,
they
no,
wearing
this
uniforms or are they not wearing uniforms?" I was like, "Who makes that decision?" She was like, "I didn't buy uniforms." I was like,
Congratulations for surviving your first board meeting.
Yes.
Hopefully they'll hear back something soon.
Something that you might be interested in.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice evening.
Although,
It's only on my version now, the print version yet, but
can I steal a sound?
is, the reason I'm interested in this because your name never does pop up again.
Okay.
Sorry, it was when I started writing this when I didn't thank you very much, so you're filling in. But your name does pop up.
Let me tell you, when it comes to acting, I would always rather play the bad guy. Bad guys have more, they have more character. They have more flair.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I like seeing really good actors when they play it bad, like Denzel Washington. You know, I mean, when he plays the bad guy, he's really good. You know who was the best? I can't think of his name right now. But he's in. I've seen him in Westworld. But remember Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
He played Peoples. That dude.
I haven't, I think it's funny, I have not seen that Shaft in a long time.
I like that one though.
Yeah, I love that one, especially Peoples.
Well, because
he
there's
was
Shaft,
so good.
but you know he's also in the new Shaft, which I did not like.
The one with,
with the
John.
younger guy?
Yeah.
He's just, I'm sorry, he's just too,
Yeah.
It's too goofy or something.
Yeah.
too goofy. He's
Not-
just,
not- he
it's
wasn't
hard
cool
to take
enough?
him. He needs a little more bass in his voice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but just to be Shaft.
But you have to watch that one and
Okay.
just for Peoples. I mean,
Okay.
he was the perfect villain. Yes, I'll be going back to get yes.